Are we on?
We're on.
We're on. This is it. Okay. A few people with us. Rodrigo. Spacehead 1AU. What's up?
Day 7, baby. Brett, bringing out the guns. It's the 50 freestyle time.
50 free, baby.
Yeah.
We're bringing out the big guns tonight. We're bringing out the big show tonight. We're going to have some Aussies on. This is going to be huge. Caeleb Remmel is back with us.
You don't say.
Yeah.
I do like that. That name is cool. Remmel's a cool ass name. It's like a cool middle name. All right, tonight, leading off, we got Dressel at the beginning. We got Dressel at the end.
Double Dressel.
Double Dressel. We got a 200 back final for the women. We have an 800 free final, Katie Ledecky, and the 50s. So it's a little bit shorter. You know, those couple of nights where you got 7 events. Those are the ones that are, they seem a little long, and then you realize it's already day 7, and you only got one more night, and tomorrow's basically what, the 50? Is that it? Is the men's 1500?
I mean, basically the 50. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's it. What quite of a difference there, you know?
Yeah, 50 and the 1500. Yeah. I'm trying to get my Aussie guests on right now. So we got some Aussies coming on. It's going to be a big night. Lots of fun. We got basically the whole of Amazon Prime coming to join us tonight. We brought on the Amazon Prime team. It's going to be a big one.
Yeah, I'm excited to get Nicole Livingston out here.
Dude, she is so good.
This is what she does for a living, you know. Is she going to actually be watching?
No, she actually asked me if she could get the feed, but
she can't get it.
I can't get it, I don't think so.
Well, there's no way she'll get it like on time. I mean, not from where ours is.
Yeah. Tomorrow's guest, Alex Popoff. Yes, that's right, Caeleb Remmel. Alex Popoff.
Write it down.
I haven't asked him yet, but why not? Let's get him on.
Let's take some questions right here. So we got 11 minutes before this golf crap's done.
Have we given away the second the second clock yet? When are we doing that?
We'll do it tonight.
Tonight. Eric Meyer, clock time. We're doing a clock.
Spacehead.
Does Nathan Adrian have any chance in the 50? He doesn't have a chance to win, but he has a chance for the second place. Yes, absolutely. If you watch my assessment on the men's 50 freestyle on my Instagram a few weeks ago with John Lone, you will see that I said Caeleb Dressel's going to go somewhere between 20.7 and 21.0, and that looks very accurate right now. And then I said the next best is a guaranteed 21.3, but if it's a 21.5, 21.6, it's a crapshoot. It's anyone's game, and that's where I think it's at right now. I think it's at that 21.5, 21.6 crapshoot. So does Nathan have a chance? Absolutely. He's in there. So, I mean, this morning he went, 21.8. So, yeah, he's in there. We got Nick Livingston coming in right now. Here we go. Nick's joining. Come on, Nick. Come on in.
It's not looking good.
It's not looking good, is it?
The connection's looking slow.
Uh-oh. Come on, Nick. Come on, Nick. Where are you?
The shirt.
There she is.
This is for anybody.
There she is.
Hey, I shouldn't do that, Lisa.
Oh, you can do that.
What are you wearing? A cutter? Oh, God. Do I need to go get something out of the cupboard? I think it's in mothballs.
I basically did that today, Nick. I went to the bags that are in storage, and I was like, let me find something.
That's funny.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's all right for you blokes. You probably just put a hat on or wiped your hair forward. I actually put makeup on for you, Hawke. I messaged you and told you I look like crap, and you're like, you look fine. You look fine. That's such a boy thing.
You look great, yeah. Listen, let me say this, Nick. Fantastic job last week. Wow. Me and Nate here, Swim Nerd, were just talking all week about how good you are. Unbelievable.
I haven't done domestic swim coverage for quite a few years. I've done, I do Olympics and Com Games for the host broadcaster, but it was nice. It was nice, and Amazon Prime Video threw everything at it. It was like the big swimming coverage feel that we had when you were getting ready for 2000.
Amazon Prime was so good, right, Nate?
So good. Incredible.
Yeah.
Everything.
Have the Moby cam and the Spider cam, and oh man, it was awesome.
The lighting in that facility was top notch. The cameras were all high def, like it seemed like doesn't matter what live stream I was pulling it from my phone or anything. It was amazing.
Skippy! Oh, how we going, gang?
Good, mate.
Hello, Jeffrey.
How are you, Nick?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Where are you? You're in Melbourne or back at home?
Melbourne. Yeah, I'm in Melbourne.
Yeah, nice.
Skip, we were just saying how good Nick was on the Amazon Prime coverage last week.
It was good.
It's just a loving. Thanks, boys.
Yeah, it was good. It brought back a lot of memories. It's like getting the band back together, right? Like,
Hey, Brett, do you remember Adam Luscombe? Do you remember Adam that used to run MSAC?
Yes.
He used to swim with Melbourne Vic Centre. He runs that pool now, that South Australian Aquatic and Leisure Centre.
Wow.
So he's got it looking really, really slick.
Yeah, I mean, look, the coverage was amazing, and we're watching NBC, and it's decent. They're doing a lot of emotional coverage, but they're not doing the whole gamut. They're not really capturing the whole thing. I don't know if you've seen any of it, but it's not like you guys. The Amazon Prime guys did a fantastic job. So
I think I like the way you've been announcing people for qualifying onto the team, the kind of big reveal.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, I saw some vision because we can't see it here, right? I saw some vision of Michael Andrews standing on like a platform with curtains that dropped, and he gets revealed out to the audience.
Yeah.
And did I imagine that, or did that really happen?
No, a little dramatic. Yeah, it's the American way.
I got to bust up my dogs. Hang on.
It's all right. Klim, what's up, mate?
Hey, Lumpy.
I'm ready.
Size of those bad boys.
I love it.
Mate, we've got two former fly world record holders here, and we've got the 100 butterfly world record threat first up here in about, what is it, like 10 minutes, 5 minutes away, 6 minutes away. So crazy, huh?
Hello, Michael.
Hello, Nicole. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's so good that Hawke can get us reunited, even though you're in Australia.
I know, he's got a lot of pull, Hawke.
Yeah, I don't know how I pulled this off, but listen, Klimmy, as a former world record holder in the 100 butterfly, what is Caeleb Dressel thinking right now about 5 minutes out from possibly breaking this world record? Tell us.
Oh, look, I think sometimes when you think you're going to do it and you attempt to do it, it's probably the least likely time that you're going to actually achieve it. So I think, he's swum so many. I think he's got the right formula. He's obviously the only one that can go out in late 23 and come back in the 26 points. So, and I think if he just has to keep executing, it's amazing that he can continue to keep that momentum into the wall, in the last 25. So if he can just, maybe push that first 50 a little bit more. And I think it's all about just attacking it. And I think he's obviously got the right race strategy. So, it's really, he gets to swim his own race, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Skippy, what do you think? Have you got a chance to watch Caeleb Dressel swim his butterfly?
Yeah, I've seen a few of his races, not just his fly, his free. I mean, the guy's just a speed machine, right? It's just surprising how fast he can or how much velocity he generates, not only just off the dive, but to be able to hold that momentum and hold that velocity through his breakouts, and especially to get down the first lap. It's it's very nice to watch. And as Klimmy said, as Lumpy said, to be able to come off the wall and bring it back in low 26s. I remember when we were training for the Sydney Olympics. My goal was to swim 51.8, right? So how do you swim 51.8 was 24.4, 27.4, and this guy's coming back in 26.3, 26.4s, right? Like that's a whole second. And if you're moving at 2 meters per second, it goes to show you what sort of distance he's actually putting on everyone else out in the field.
Yeah, he's a beast. Nick, we saw an Aussie kid kind of throw down a pretty decent 100 fly a couple of days ago. He did all right. What was his name? Temple?
Yeah, Matt Temple. He's actually, Klimmy, you'll remember Wayne Laws. Wayne Laws, when I was little, coached Linley Frame as a little girl. So he's been around forever. And when Scott Talbot left Nunawading, I think he's actually out of the industry now. When he left Nunawading, Wayne stepped in to kind of caretake coach. And Wayne has done an amazing job. He's come out of retirement for it. And not only Matt Temple, there's a whole heap of kids from that Nunawading club who have done really well. He broke Andrew Lauderstein's long-standing Australian record. Lordo said everybody was sending him text messages, including me, going, "Oh, so sorry, Lordo." I think he was happy it got broken.
Yeah.
So he was quick.
I mean, it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing to see. Obviously in Nick's, like you said, obviously in waist to knee suit and swimming 50.4. It's just phenomenal. It's obviously I think the butterfly was stagnant for a little bit until obviously Caeleb and Michael as well when it's up 50, and now it's on for young and old.
Yeah, it's almost like they got this freestyle mentality, like go out in a freestyle split and come back in a freestyle split. I mean, that's really what it seems like, Skippy. Went from like, okay, this is a butterfly stroke to, okay, let's split it like the 100 free, right?
Yeah, I think you were obviously it's one of the best 100 freestyle sprinters to ever do that. I think was that you at Worlds in 2003 where you went out in a blitz? Was that Worlds 2003?
I was in Fukuoka, yeah. I only remember it because the ramp to get up to the warm down pool was like this, and I couldn't get up the ramp at the end.
You went out in like 22 points or something like that, right?
Yeah,
You're like
22.5 I went out, yeah.
But yeah, I think everyone started obviously adapting that mentality again. I think, and let's face it, the butterflies or the speed guys actually do have speed to burn, right? So, the main aim for those guys has been how long can they hold on to that velocity and make sure they don't drop off. And, training techniques and fitness techniques and programs have certainly changed since the last 20 years since Klimmy and I were battling up and down the pool. And these guys are just able to maintain the velocity and maintain that strength over the last 20-odd meters to hit those times.
Yeah. Nick, unfortunately, I'm not allowed to show you the swims because it's live on NBC, so we'll get cancelled. It's a cancel culture. So
what I want from you is how he's going on underwater, whether he's going to go right to the 15-meter mark on both start and turn, right?
Yeah.
His skills are so bloody good.
So good. Fuck, his skills are unbelievable. But I don't know how to commentate it. I watch you and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I could do that. And then I watch the race and I just freeze. I'm like, I don't know what to say.
But I don't race call. I just pepper in with something that apparently is expert.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds amazing to me. I mean, right? How good does she sound?
Absolutely. You're the voice of swimming as far as I'm concerned. So
how long have we got, Hawkeye, before he races?
They've just started the broadcast right now. Okay. It is it's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast in America. So they've just started the broadcast. They're coming on. They just showed a picture of Caeleb Dressel in the warm-up pool. Looks super relaxed.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've got to talk you through it. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Just talk us through it.
Does anyone know how Joseph's schooling's going? He's been pretty quiet. I haven't seen any other swims in the last few months.
I think my understanding is he's not based here in Singapore. He's been doing his training over in the States.
He's here in Virginia.
Nate, give us an update, Nate.
Yeah, so he's training with Sergio
Lopez.
Yeah, out in Virginia Tech, Blacksburg, Virginia. But they got a pretty good training group.
Fucking Grant Hackett. Look at this.
The MVP is here.
I know exactly where he is as well.
You know where I am? A 4-year-old birthday party.
No, I didn't know where you were. I just took a guess.
You're at a 4-year-old birthday party. Well, we appreciate you We appreciate you breaking into the live stream at a 4-year-old birthday, but he won't remember. Don't worry about it.
His parents might though.
His parents might hold it against you for a while. Grant Hackett, absolute legend. Thanks for joining us, mate. You've only got a couple of minutes, but we appreciate it. Listen, just give me your thoughts on Caeleb Dressel, Grant.
When you talk about someone with speed, precision, skill, power, like he encapsulates all those things. He's kind of the athlete right now where if you want to talk to young athletes, look at his skill. Like the way he gets off the block. I mean, what does he stand at? 6'4", 6'5", and he gets off in 0.60. And then he's underwater. I mean, the guy comes up within a millimeter of 15 meters. He's half a body length ahead of everybody else. Like, and then the power that he's able to, sort of execute through every single race is just phenomenal. And what I'm seeing, I think, through these trials is he seems to be getting faster. I'm not sure what his taper was like his 100 was freakish, 47.3, but with that semi and the 100-meter butterfly, you feel like he's getting more into racing now, which is going to make him more dangerous coming into the games.
Yeah. Let me say this, Grant. He's about to walk out for this final here, so we only got a couple of minutes, and I know you're at a birthday party, so you got a couple of minutes too. But let me say this. You swam multiple events at these meets, back to back. You'd go 200s, 400s, relays, 800s, 1500s. How does he handle this day by day, backing up like this?
He obviously does the work. It's pretty simple. He trains like this. I used to get the same questions even in a 1500. How do you go out in 350 in a 1500? And you purely train for it. I used to go out there and swim, sort of high lactic hundreds and then get into pace. And that's exactly what he does. He clearly trains the way he races, and that's backing up session in, session out. And he does kilometres. For a guy that has got so much speed and power, that's the big thing.
Hacky, we were talking about that with Kyle Chalmers last week, right? Gone are the days when Hawke just came and had a shower for training. These 100 freestylers, are working hard. Like Kyle does miles right up until when he races.
Yeah, of course he does.
It's a great combination of endurance and speed these guys have, and that's what gives them the ability to be able to back up day in, day out and swim right near their best every single time. There's no other way you can do it.
Well, listen, guys, these guys have taken their shirts off. They're behind the blocks. If you can wait just a minute, Grant, that would be fantastic. I think he's got a good chance.
Guns as big as yours right now, Hawke? That's what I'm wondering. I know Caeleb does, but do the other 7 do?
This was not originally a sleeveless shirt. I made it sleeveless.
I would too if I looked like
that. Pretty tight too, Hawke.
It's tight around here. Not around here, but around here. All right, here we go. They're on the blocks, guys. I'm going to call this as it is. They're on the blocks. Take your marks. Bang, they're off and racing. Okay, Caeleb is doing his usual 15 meters. Yep, out on it. Caeleb's off the block in 0.62 reaction time.
Wow.
At the 25-meter mark, he's got half a body length already. He is looking super strong, clean. He is powering out. Here we go, turning at the 50-meter mark. A little long on the wall, 23.1. 23.1. He's under
26.3 to break the record.
2/10 quicker than the semis, Hawke.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tom Shields looking for a second place here.
Yeah, Tom's looking for a second. He's in second place. Tom Shields has got this second place locked up. They got the world record line on Caeleb. It's right on his hands right now. I don't think he's going to get it. He's going to miss the world record. No,
Coleman,
49.8. 49.8.
He's
lower than semis.
Yeah.
Did he go out too fast, do you think, Hawke?
Yeah, it looked like he was going to slip in a little water there at the end there. Tom Shields got the second spot, so he's an Olympian. There we go. Good for him.
I think he hit the nail on the head.
You guys have swum 100 fly once or twice. Was that first 50 too hard, do you think?
I think Klimmy hit the nail on the head. Sorry, Klimmy, to get in first. I think he hit the nail on the head.
All good.
On the fact that, when you and Hawke were talking just before about, over racing the race, I think, if you try, that's one of the challenges we all have, right? You step up behind the block, and if you overrate it in the first 25, it blows the rest of your race out. And you were spot on to me. I think if you try too hard, ultimately, then yeah, you're going to struggle in that last 25 meters, right?
Yeah, I mean, from my point of view, I think, that's as soon as you dangle that carrot of a world record, obviously for him, it looks like what Hackey said, it's true that he's building through this meet, which is great. And, I think obviously that world record will be under threat again, no doubt, very soon. So, I think I thought he was muscly at the start of the meet, and he's obviously maybe getting the rest as we get on through the program. But, just pushed it a little bit hard at the start, but I think he has to, because he's got so much speed off the dive and he can use that. And if he, that's the only way I think he's going to get the world record, by getting that fast speed out, and rather than bringing it back under 26, which might be a little bit unrealistic at this point.
It's really funny you say that. I remember Eamon Sullivan's comments when he finished second in 2008, the men's 100-meter freestyle behind Alan Bernard, and he said, I went out a little bit slower in the first 50 just so I had a bit coming home, because Bernard had a great back end. And he goes, I still didn't have anything coming home. And that's the thing. If you don't use that speed up at the top end, you don't necessarily get it back in the back end if that's the way you train and execute your race.
Yeah, he looked like he put a lot on that first 50. Tom Shields got the second spot, 51.1. Good for him.
Good job.
That's awesome. Listen, Hackey, you're at a birthday party, mate. Get out of here. We've got plenty of people.
Good to see you all, guys.
Get us some cupcakes.
Happy birthday, Hackey.
Love you, mate. Take care.
See you, Nick.
See you, mate.
See you, Hackey.
Nicole, let me ask you this. What's the thoughts around the deck on how the Aussies performed last week?
Yeah, I mean, still there's, as we take a look at the results there, 49.87, 51.1. Actually, I look at that, Hawke, compared to the 50, because I think about relays, right? 50.45 for Matt Temple. So, bit of an advantage there in the 4x1 medley.
Plus, their breaststrokers have got 2 seconds on us at the moment, Nick, which is unfortunate.
We didn't. I mean, that was one of the events that we didn't go great in, the 100 metres breaststroke. We didn't have anyone qualify, but Zach and Stubblety Cook, who's got the best name in the business, he was super quick in the 200. So Matt Wilson, hopefully he'll get better as well. He's more of a 200 swimmer. Hawke, I reckon everyone was really happy with it. We didn't race semi-finals like the US are. We had a condensed meet that was basically built for TV. Which I don't mind. I know sometimes you go, it's compromising performance, but the sport needed that lift. So we put together the menu of the best events every day. So no semi-finals. I think that's okay. And, of course, we've moved to 5-6 weeks before the meet like the US as well. And what we've never had, Hawke, is, which I actually want to check with you guys, in my time, I don't think we did from trials to the meet ever as a group. We all went home and came back, and there was some camps, but you went back and forth. These guys are together now for 5 weeks.
Where are they going?
They're going up north. They're going up to Cairns for a warm weather, and then they go into a bubble into Tokyo. Like the Victorian guys had to leave with, I think, about a few hours' notice. They don't even have their passports. So Australia's got to go around house to house and get passports and send it up because they can't come back.
Yeah. Wow.
So they're going to bond really well, I reckon, doing that 5 weeks together.
Hey, Nick, just out of curiosity, because I'm very fortunate here being based in Singapore, I get to still catch up with Stefan Widmar, who is the head coach of Singapore Swimming. And he was telling me that the team here in Singapore, what they're doing is they're going to go into Tokyo 5 days before the meet. What is going to be the strategy for the swim team? I mean, how's their approach? Do they go in a couple of weeks before, or do they mitigate the risk of potentially not catching a virus? Are they going to be going on a chartered flight leading into Tokyo? And how does it all work?
Yeah. It's all chartered. And in fact, you can get a lift home if you know people. You can't get a lift across. They're not letting anybody get on the charter. But everything's chartered. They're all vaccinated. So for those listening in the US, our vaccination's been such a schmozzle. It hasn't rolled out like it has in the States. So basically anyone under 40 has not been vaccinated yet in Australia. So all of the Olympic athletes have been vaccinated, which is great. But I'm going across to commentate, and I was just reading through kind of the rules and regulations last night on what I can and can't do. So I ordered a coffee machine online last night. I've ordered like a under the seat bike that can be used as a hand crank as well, because you basically have to nominate where you're going to be 24 hours a day, the places you may request to visit, and it has to be approved by the organising committee. So I'm going to be hotel, pool, that's it.
Wow.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, it's really strict, and it's dry. I heard it's dry. That's going to kill me. Apparently, as you go into the hotel, when it's in a state of emergency,
it's
Japan,
dry.
it's dry.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're confiscating any duty free, and I'm just like, oh my god.
I thought you meant you just needed to bring some lotion or something.
A lot of mouthwash.
Yeah.
Guys, listen, real quick, we got the women's 200 backstroke final in the water right now as we speak.
Are you serious? You didn't give it any build up. Did you tell me to shut up?
We don't need any build.
It's like the best event. Are you serious?
We don't need any build up. What do you need build up for?
Well,
This is the build up. They're in the water.
So, of course, Regan Smith's world record in the 100 got broken by Kaylee McHugh, who is just in that beautiful sweet spot of jumping in and doing world records every time she races. Wow.
And I'm telling you, Nick, I saw the pressure on her face day one when she swam that 100 back. I mean, she looked exhausted. She looked like she'd been up for 3 days after that world record being broken that she'd lost, and the pressure on her was immense. Look, she handled it well. She got the win, but certainly you can see it on her. I mean, look, the trials anywhere are intense, but especially in the US, a lot of pressure on these kids.
What's she at the 100? Has she got through the 100 yet?
She's thrown in 29.2 at the 50.
my pick a couple days ago for second was Isabelle Stadden from Cal, who's 58.9 in the 100, but she's more of a 200 swimmer. She's in
lane one.
She's in lane one, and she is looking fresh.
Right now, she's in second place.
She's about to turn first, I think.
Lane one, you can win from lane one. Hawke, 94 Commonwealth Games, 100 back. Who won the girls from lane one?
There we go. She's in second place right now. Turn first, 1010, Regan Smith, and this kid is right behind her, Isabelle Stratton.
Statton's less than
Stadden.
a tenth.
Yeah, that's her.
And Phoebe
So
Bacon
she's only
from
18.
Maryland.
She's only young.
Look at Nick doing her homework. I love that.
Oh, just because you sent me the call sheet, so I printed them off.
Here we are just talking shit, and Nick's like actually throwing out real names.
Well, Regan's a bit slower than obviously world record splits at 1010.
Yeah,
So
out
you
in
reckon-
133.5 at the 150, 133.5.
Ryan White from Alabama made a huge move right there. An unbelievable underwater. She's pulled side by side with Regan Smith, and Regan Smith she's in trouble.
Regan Smith's not going to win this race.
Who's
She might
challenging her?
not.
Wow.
She's not going to get second in this race.
Who's challenging her?
It's going to
Ryan
be
White
3 and
is
5.
gone. Ryan White is gone. Phoebe Bacon in lane 5 is making a push right here.
Boom. World record holder out. World record holder
No
out.
way. Wow.
Ryan White first, 205.7. Phoebe Bacon from Chevy Chase, Maryland, second place, teenager.
Chevy Chase.
Wow.
Is that a joke?
No, that's where she's from.
Chevy Chase.
She's from the funny farm.
World record holder is out of this
Wow.
race of the Olympic Games. Look at that. See?
Did she qualify? She qualified for the 100 though, didn't she?
Yeah.
She did, yeah. She did.
Yeah.
Nick, what did Kaylee go again in Adelaide?
You're testing me because I haven't got it in front of me. I think she went like
204 something.
205.
204, I believe.
204.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
204.
broke the Commonwealth record. 204.
Yep.
Hey, I was just going to look at. Tell me the girl that's won.
It was
Ryan
Ryan
White.
So ranked, her best this year was 207.07 prior to coming into the trials.
Yep.
207.07 at the Atlanta Classic in May. So good improvement.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's been swimming with Coley.
No, not Coley.
Oh,
Coley's been gone for a while. Aussie
Oh,
Corvetta.
that's true. Yep, sorry.
She went 208 in the semifinal, and then she just went 205.7. She literally dropped 3 seconds between the semifinal and the final. I mean,
Good back end as well.
good
Great
for
back
her.
end.
Boom. Look at that. Hey, 205.7, 206
4.
Wow. All right. There we go. Wow. Good
Woo.
stuff. All right.
What's
Nick,
up,
Hey,
Max?
hey, Hawkey, sorry, just to finish that one off, I just pulled up the splits. So she's gone 29.5, 32.1, 32.1, 31.9, last 50.
Wow.
Wow.
Closed it up.
And Regan, last 50, 33.2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nate, a little disappointing. Nick's got the splits before you.
Oh, they're on Amiga timing. Sorry. Oh, there they are there. Oh, look at you go.
Yeah.
Just giving him shit, that's all.
Wow.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Big drop. Yeah, good for her.
Yeah, we got a lot of world record holders and American record holders and Olympic gold medalists that are not they're not going to be there in their respective events.
Hey, Emily Seabohm swam well in that one as well. She went 2:05.
Yeah, that's
crushed
right.
it.
Good for her. Yeah, she did really well.
How old is she now,
Where would-
Nick? I mean, she's going to her 4th Olympics now, right? So,
Well, I think Kate's the oldest at 29, turning 30. I reckon Em's 27, turning 28, because she made that first team with you guys in 2007 as a 14-year-old.
yeah,
And she's
wow.
been on the team the whole way through. She missed 19 at Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. That's amazing. That's awesome. So there's potentially another Olympics in her.
She's 29 as well.
Yeah. So, wow, that's amazing. And what's the feel, Nick? What was the feel on pool deck with Kate's swims and the Campbells? I mean, the women's Emma McKeon really had a really good week down there in Adelaide.
Yeah. She's going to have a heavy program with the mixed relay now. She'll probably get 8 races over there. 100 freestyle hockey, women's 100 free. Did you see the times in that final?
Oh, my God.
Holy hell.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Honestly,
that's the Olympic final times.
honestly, I think it sent shockwaves through America. I think the Americans, once they saw that race, were like, all right, we're in trouble. That was, that was crazy.
We got to keep the lid on it, though.
Wow. I mean, the relay, if you put them together, because Hackey was my little rain man. He's so good with splits. He like does it. And I'm like, Hackey, I don't know what you're talking about. Just tell me the times. He reckons there's sub 330 on the relay. He reckons they're about 328.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. As long as they don't jump, they're you know.
Yeah.
And talk about Hackey, the men's 400 freestyle on the first night in Australia. That was a pretty good night, Nick. 5 swimmers under 3 minutes 46. Is that about right?
They were quick. That Elijah Winnington's awesome.
So he trains with Dino, right? Dean Boxall?
Yeah. He moved there maybe 12 to 18 months ago.
Okay, where was he from originally?
I tell you what we're doing really well here, which was an observation at trials, is that anyone that's succeeding has another training partner in the same squad that is as good or just a smidge behind. So they're high performance environment. They're racing every day in training.
Well, Nick, here's
you used to do with Popov, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, clearly,
Chasing.
but
I was
here's
never racing, just chasing.
the thing on Australia, the knock on Australia is, Nick, that we've done this at trials before and we've fallen short at the Olympics. So how do we go from doing what we did here to solidifying some gold medals?
I reckon they're really focused on that trials to Olympics improvement. And I reckon with Alex Bauman, who's now the CEO of Swimming Australia, and Rowan Taylor as the head coach, I reckon they're really cooking with gas with those guys. And, Tracy Corkins, Stockwell is right in there as well. Kieran's the president. Like, seriously, the organisation is just, firing on all cylinders.
You got a good crew of swimmers that have been successful in their own careers at that elite level as well. So they understand the sport as well as the management that goes on behind the scenes, which is pretty good. But, coming back to the depth in the 400, I remember one of the things that Swimming Australia, Gennady, actually said, priding us or giving us motivation leading into Sydney 2000. One of the things, Klim, if you remember, he always said that the strength of your team comes down to your 200 and your 400 swimmers, right? So he always encouraged strong 4x200, which then had the knock-on effect to all of the other events as well. And
exactly right. Yeah.
The depth of that 400 freestyle and our men's 200, we're starting to see that sort of depth like we had leading into Sydney 2000, which is quite exciting.
And you're not making me feel good, Skip.
Sorry?
You're not making me feel too good, Skip.
Yeah, sorry.
As the only American on this thing, I'm feeling a little bit nervous.
Don't be nervous, mate. Don't be nervous. But it's quite. I mean, can you imagine going to an Olympic trials and swimming 3 minutes 44 at the Australian for a 400 freestyle, 3:43 or 3:44, and not getting a chance to go to an Olympic Games, right? Like, I mean, that's heartbreaking.
And there was a couple of them.
I think you're right. You know, obviously traditionally we have struggled sometimes going from trials to the major meet. So, and look, I'm not sure about this 5 weeks away and not, from your home environment, etc. But I think, and the rest of the world seems to be, flying as well. The Europeans put down a lot of great time. So, I think it's a great team. I like the fact that, like the guys who are winning, like, for example, Matt Temple, just his attitude was they kind of embracing where they're at rather than shying away from what's next. So, but I think it's, as you guys all know, the Olympic Games are a completely different kettle of fish, from any trials or anything.
And Klimmy, the thing maybe going against the team is there's 21 Olympic rookies. That's huge.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be any different in America, Nick. It seems like there's a lot of young kids on this US team. And I think there's a lot of nervousness around how this team's going to shape up. Right now, the 800 free women are in the water. They're going to swim the first 100 here. Katie Ledecky, obviously in the lead here. She's going to flip in 57.7 at the first 100. I mean, she's in a pretty commanding lead. Nick, what's the thoughts on Titmus?
Titmus, sorry, I'm struggling with the amount of sunshine coming in. Titmus had a 3-day rest. Had a 3-day rest into trials. The really interesting thing with that, chatting to Hackett about it, sorry, I'm going to try and chase it away from the sun. Chatting to Hackett about it was her 200, 400 was so good. Yeah. And a 3-day rest, you reckon that she'd be a bit flat in the 2 and the 4 and it'd suit the 800 better. The 800 was later in the week. We reckon Dean Boxer wasn't happy with that 800. She negative split the 800, but she didn't take command or control of it at all. But the 2 and the 4 looked like, when we saw Ledecky's 400, because NBC and Amazon Prime Video did a swap of footage. When we saw that 400 free of Ledecky's, I thought she looked really flat and heavy in the water. There was nothing sparkling about her, which is why I want you to tell me if her body position is up a bit higher, Brett, this time in the 800, because she looked really flat and ploughing through rather than hydrofoiling.
Yeah, she does look a little better. She just flipped in the 200, went out in 159. She's 3 body lengths ahead of the field, so she's just racing the clock right now. But she does look a little better. She looked a little short to me. When she's swimming, I've seen her look a little longer. So she might be on a 2-day rest where Titmus was on a 3-day rest. But
well, the funny thing was that the joke was that Titmus is never going to be allowed to have a taper again because she swam so well in the 2 and the 4.
Exactly. Let's go a 3-day rest for Tokyo. Same thing.
Yeah.
What were you? I reckon we were about a 6-week rest. Is that about right?
6 weeks, minimum. God.
Yeah. He rested for trials.
I'm still resting my legs. I'm going to race in 2042.
I've been on a 15-year rest. What are we talking about? Ledecky's, miles ahead. I don't know. It's a fight for second right now. It looks like a couple of girls in that. We've got the little ticker down here so you can see the lanes here. We've got Haley Anderson in 2, Erica Sullivan in 3, Bella Sims in 5, Ali McHugh in 6. But right now it looks like lanes 2, 3, and 5 are in a fight for second place. Ledecky is just probably 5 body lengths ahead of the field right now. She's coming into the 400-meter wall. She's looking at coming in about 25 meters out from 400 right now.
The 4019 is a world record split, and in fact, that 159 was on world record pace. Not suggesting she's going to go 8:04.
Yeah, she's right. I mean, she's not far off pace. She's going to flip in 4:03.5, so she's right there, not too far off.
Hey, Nick,
I wanted to ask you a question. One of the things that surprised me, it does and it doesn't. Leading or coming off the back of the trials. I think it was a team of only, am I right, is it 31 swimmers they selected? So the qualifying standards were obviously very, very tough. They didn't pick a lot of people for in terms of bleeding the next group through or the guys that have just missed out. What are your thoughts on that sort of stuff?
You're not allowed to anymore. That's the problem, is that it's all about quotas in the Olympic Village and the beds in the Olympic Village. So now if you take a relay swimmer, you have to race them. It's not like you can take some for experience just to be in the environment of the Olympic Games. If you take someone, you have to race them. And we all know swimmers that went to the Olympics and didn't race. You can't do it anymore.
So, I don't know, I don't know, maybe my numbers were off, but when we were swimming, didn't they used to take teams of like 43, 42, 43?
So we selected, they selected 35.
25% down, right? Yeah, selected 35, right.
But they did go faster qualifying times. They did the qualifying time was set on top 8 at the 2019 World Championships. So it's the no tourist rule. You have to make a final, otherwise you don't get selected.
Yeah, you're not on Kentucky.
Hockey, what was the time trial in the 400 at the US trials? I noticed there's
what was that about?
Listen, I don't think there's ever been a situation. Yeah, I don't think there's ever been a situation where a US male has not done the A cut before. So this is the first time where they had a second place finish and not get the A cut. So I think in the rules they had somewhere deep down in the rules that you could, if your second place finisher didn't get it, then you could swim a time trial. So that's what they did. They gave this kid a chance. Look, he dropped 3 seconds. He was very nervous in the final. You could see it. I called it in the live feed when he came out. I was like, this kid's nervous, but he did he went 3:48 and then he dropped 3 seconds, got the A cut. He's not winning a medal at the Olympics, and he probably won't make the final. So I don't think it's a big deal, but it's just making numbers up. He might prove me wrong. So if he watches this, he might be pissed off and end up making the final.
Hey, if that's a motivator for him to step up, that's awesome.
He might win in 2024, Hawke.
Yeah, he might win in 2024. Hey, guys, while you're here, what's your thoughts on the situation with Cody Simpson? I got to coach him for a while and had a great time with him. Nick, how's that been received down in Australia?
Oh, it's been huge. Been absolutely huge. I don't know. I feel like he was really relaxed around on pool deck. I feel like I said in the coverage, and I wasn't talking about his mum and dad and brother and sister. He looks comfortable because he's back with his family. He's back around the swimmers that he's grown up with. I think he put together 2 really good races. To be honest, I didn't know that he'd be able to do that. I still feel like, Laurie used to say for every year out, you've got to have a year in. So he's been out a long time. I thought that from a technique point of view, he still doesn't look smooth. He doesn't look free-flowing like when I saw Skippy and Klimmy race. But I think with more time, he's going to get there. And he's, you guys were going from pool to pool and, you did a really good job with him, Hawke, getting him back into shape and get him to understand the mentality of a swimmer. I think being at Griffith, if he stays there, it's a good environment. It's got all the bells and whistles around it. There's no country club pools or wherever else you were trying to find a swim.
All right, Ledecky's coming up to finish here.
Let me give you my thoughts in a sec, but Ledecky's coming in the last 5 meters. She's going 8:14, 8:14.6
Yeah, right.
For second place, it's either Haley Anderson or the young girl from Katie Grimes. Yeah,
Grimes got it. Grimes from lane 7.
Wow.
Good for her.
Lane.
Geez, Grimes dropped about 10 seconds right there. What I don't think she realizes she got. I don't think she realized she made the team. Maybe she didn't. Maybe she didn't get the. Maybe she didn't get the qualifying time. She got to do a time trial.
Oh, God. That's speed.
From lane 7, Hawke, like just right from the further as well, close to the furthest edge to the pool.
Yeah, exactly.
So 8:19 was Titmus's time, and she negative split that with a 4:08 in the first 4.
Okay.
Ledecky went out in 4:03.
Yeah. This Grimes girl looks like she's 14, 15 years old.
Yeah, I think she's
age on her?
15. She got third in the mile. She just got touched out by her Sandpiper's teammate, Erica Sullivan. And now on the 800, it was kind of the other way around.
Did she get the A cut?
I don't have those up.
I mean, she just touched her out barely. So
She's got to be. Did she break 820? I think she broke 820.
yeah, it was
That's
close.
pretty fast.
I mean, she looks young, and Kate Ledecky came over from lane 4 to give her a hug. So that's nice.
The Sandpipers of Nevada, I'm telling you, they are just they're churning these distance kids out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's why I didn't swim there.
How Hawke, coming back to Cody, how was that first conversation when did he approach you or did you approach him? How did that first conversation go down?
Actually, that's a good question, Skippy. I asked one of the assistant coaches at USC if I could grab his number because I wanted him to be on my podcast. And he's like, yeah, sure. So I sent him a text. He's like, oh, look, I'm not really looking to be on the podcast right now, but I'm looking for a coach. Can you help me, find a coach? I was like, oh, yeah, sure. So I said, look, let me call you. So we called each other. I was a little nervous, to be honest, little starstruck at first, but then he was super cool, and he just said, look, I'm looking for a coach. And I asked him what he wanted to do. And he said, I want to make, I want to be a swimmer. And I was like, you're insane. You're living with Miley Cyrus right now. You're a millionaire. Like what are you doing? Like, why would you want to swim? And he just said, I just got a burning desire to do it. So, I pressed him a little bit more, and eventually he just convinced me that he wanted to swim. So, there's one thing, Skippy, one thing to say it and then another thing to actually do it. So, my first couple of workouts in, I decided to move from Alabama to California to go out there and coach him and help him. And it was during the middle of the pandemic. So we were in heavy restrictions. And I just kind of tested him. I've seen the way that you train, Skippy. I've seen the way that Klimmy puts in the work, and I knew what it took to be a world record holder in those events. And when you've been around people like yourselves, like, look, there's fakers and there's people that want to do things and say they want to do things, but are they really cut out for it? And look, I pressed him, I tested him. I texted him the other day, and we were texting back and forth about a workout that we did, particularly where we were at his house, and we did a swim workout, and then after that we came back, and it was probably in Australia, I would say about 35 degrees Celsius. It was really hot this day. After the swim workout, we went and ran stairs for about an hour, him and I together, and I was trying to break him. I literally was trying to break him. I wanted him to quit, and he wouldn't quit. He just kept going and kept going. And actually, I was the first one to quit, so he outdid me. And this is at the time when he wasn't really a great swimmer. He was just a pop star, And I tried to break him mentally, and I couldn't do it. And I told him that day, I was like, "You want this?" So just from there, we just kind of built on that. We had our tough days, We had really hard days. But
hey, was he still entertaining doing 200, 400 IM at any stage? Because in talking to Dennis when he was at the height of his music career, Dennis he was such a good 200, 400 IMer. Yeah,
well, Nick, that's a good question. He had some shoulder issues early, so I didn't want to push him into not doing this. So I just said, look, we're not going to be able to do the amount of work that we can do. And we were under heavy restrictions too, Nick. So we were only allowed to swim an hour a day. We would walk in, we would have these passes that we'd have to throw over gates. We were going into these country clubs, and we had one pass. We actually got the pass from Connor.
Just like the Olympic Village.
Yeah, it was like we got a pass from Connor Dwyer, and it was a woman on the pass, and so I said, Cody, you're probably best looking like her. So we would throw the pass over the fence, and then we would kind of get in, and they gave us 30 minutes, but we'd actually push it to about an hour, and we would swim with 75-year-old women. It was just like it was ridiculous. The stuff that we were doing was insane. It was just so fun, so crazy. But look, he did it.
Sorry, how long was the preparation you had with him? Sorry.
Geoff, I was just going to say, because the splits are up on the board.
Yeah.
So she's gone 4:03, 4:11, second 400. Grimes has gone 4:09, 4:11. So great splitting by Grimes. I would imagine that Katie's just switched off in the second four.
Yeah.
Go, Skippy. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, Hawke, how long did you? Because when I was making my comeback, I remember one of the things that I found out like in January 2008 or February that Stolly was starting his squad, and that was going to kick off after the Beijing Olympics. So I sort of had from around March to take it pretty seriously and put a bit of a plan and a strategy together before Stolly moved to Sydney and the program started. So how long did Cody have? Was he always staying in the pool? Was he always staying fit? Or when you got him, then was that like a 12-month window you had with him or an 18-month window to get him prepped for trials?
Well, listen, if you follow me on Instagram, I posted a photo, I think a day ago or 2 days ago of him. It was actually the first day we met, and it was 12 months ago, literally 12 months ago. Go to my Instagram, Hawke BR. There's a photo of him and I, and that is the first day we met. I went to his house, and that's the first moment I met him. He was a skinny little pop star. I mean, he had no muscle on him, hadn't been doing any swimming, nothing. I mean, nothing. And and that photo was the first day we swam. So really interesting. And then, look, I pushed him to November. And here's another interesting part that a lot of people don't know right now. This is kind of an exclusive, but I pushed him to November, and he was at breaking point. I said, listen, you need a week off. And he said, well, listen, in this week off, I think I'm going to cut an album. And so in that week, we went to the studio in LA, and some of the greatest albums in history have been cut there. I mean, the Smashing Pumpkins have cut albums at this place. I mean, the list of people that have, Coldplay, it was just like a who's who of who'd done albums at this place. Cody goes in this week, during his week off, cuts a full album. And myself and my son, I brought my son out from Alabama to be with us that week. And Cody posted some photos on Instagram. But, that week he cut an album. It hasn't been released yet, but it's a killer album. So, like, here's this guy swimming the whole year, but at the same time, he's producing an album, which is going to come out, I think, in the next few weeks. And the music is really, really good. I mean, he's a musician that can swim. Like his music is hot.
All right, here we go.
Yep, men's 50 freestyle on the block. Here we go. Michael Andrew, first semifinal. Smoking everybody off the blocks, the first 15. He's got some good underwaters there.
I'm going to see what record by Dressel.
No, I don't think so. But Michael Andrew's looking good. He's half a body length ahead, super clean, 21:55, decent swim. I called Michael at about his best time, 21:4. So for him to go 21:5, I think he's right at where I'd called him. Pretty decent. Not bad.
Okay, I reckon just going back to Cody, I think, having lived that rock star lifestyle where it's kind of pretty transient, so many things to adapt to and a lot of people around, I think going into like the Olympic trials, there's obviously attention on him. There's a lot of people want his time and whatever. I think that his, music career probably puts him in good stead moving forward as long as he can, just feel comfortable and more confident with his swimming. I think that, that lifestyle he had before, it's probably less structured than what typical swimmers would have. So I think if he can just narrow it down a little bit, and I think his music is almost like when you're swimming and you have to study, whatever, it will become like a great outlet for him so he can continue, hopefully writing songs, and I think keep all those things up for him, I reckon.
Yeah, well, listen, just to watch him perform in the studio and the confidence that he had, the way that he commanded the studio, was very similar to the way that I would watch you or Skippy command the pool deck. I mean, guys that were obviously at the top of their game, that had full confidence in what they were doing and were just so far above the rest of the world. It reminded me of that, and that's what I saw of him in the studio in November when he cut this album. I think it's a great album. I've listened to his music, and this is the first time that he really had full control over everything that he wanted to do. And I think it's some awesome stuff. It's going to be pretty cool to have this swimming background now and then couple it with this, music that he's going to put out. I mean, I think he's going to be a superstar. And honestly, I think he's going to be great for swimming. He's super down to earth. Every time I talk to him, I text him just like I text you guys, and he's super receptive. I mean, I love
Great for swimming. Great for swimming Australia. Wow.
Yeah. The other part that's quite exciting, Augie, is that we live in a world today where I think once you get to that elite level of swimming, you have more access in terms of training and gaining better experience. I think, and I think he's come through. He's in a really good opportunity. I mean, he can fund himself and support himself, so he could spend 6 weeks a year, 6 to 8 weeks a year, being based in Europe and then following a European racing circuit. Obviously, hopefully, that all of that stuff comes back pretty soon. And we'll be able to freely travel and cross borders again. Yeah. But there's nothing that doesn't say that he can't learn from the likely, travel to Europe, train with James Gibson, and so with his squad for a while, base himself in Europe, get some good racing and experience there. Obviously, he can keep training with his squad on the Gold Coast if he decides to stay there as well. And then he's got the opportunity to head back to the States and do some sessions with you. I think, if he gets his model right for the next 3 years, then anything is possible leading into trials in 2024.
Yeah.
Skip, what's that second semi?
Yeah, second semi. They're on an ad break, so we've got a little bit of time. But Skip, I punished him. I saw the way that you trained. I saw the way that Klimmy trained. I punished this kid. I was like, look, if you want to be serious, there's no way. I've seen the best in the world. I've seen him train, so I'm going to hurt you. And he came through with flying colours. He's got a long way to go. You know that. Nick's got it. His skills have got to improve. But look, in a year, massive. Nick, you got a question about Michael Andrew?
No, I just wanted to ask you, Hawke, how fast you swam in 100 breast, and also for Klimmy, what was your PB 100 breast?
My 100 breast.
What was your PB in the 100 breast?
I didn't do a breaststroke kick for 15 years. What are you talking about?
Well, Michael Andrew won the 100 breast. Am I wrong in saying that?
Yeah, no, he did.
Yeah, so he's 53. He's gone 21.55, and he goes 58.7 for 100 breast. So I'm wondering. You guys, you're not the real deal. What time did you do for the 100 breast? Tell me.
1:14, I reckon.
You kind of like kicking a breaststroke, Klimmy. I saw you. I trained with you.
Absolutely. My knees were
I did both like kicking. They're on the blocks. Nathan Adrian is on the blocks. Caeleb Dressel's on the blocks. Here we go. I'm really rooting for Nathan. I think he's a great guy. Yeah. I love him to death. Hoping he's getting through here, but all the attention is on Caeleb here. Can he break the world record? Take your marks. Bang. Off clean. Here we go. All right. Caeleb, again, puts half a body length on the field on the start. His start is just ridiculous. That's really where he wins this thing. I always find he's a little short on his right side. He doesn't rotate great, but he's in the lead here. He's not going to break the world record, but he's looking good. 21.5, a little bit slower. I think he's trying too hard tonight. Nathan Adrian in second, Michael Chadwick. He looked a lot smoother this morning, Nick, and you guys know this. Look, when you try too hard, it just doesn't click as well, right?
Yeah, he's chasing world records.
Yeah, it's sort of that expectation, appeared tonight, and you can tell straight away, right, from the first couple of strokes.
And that's the thing, right? If you're chasing time, unfortunately, your performance doesn't hold up. But if you focus on the technique and the performance aspect of your swim, that's the result of that gives you a better time, right?
Yeah, and this is coming from a couple of world record holders, previous world record holders who know what they're talking about. So, yeah.
Hawke, you've coached Olympic gold medalists, world record holders in this event. What's your pick for Tokyo? Can anyone beat Dressel?
Look, I don't think they can. I think his start is phenomenal. I coach Bruno Fratis, so I'm not gonna say Bruno can't win. Bruno's the fastest swimmer on the water, on top of the water. There's no doubt about that. He doesn't have the start Caeleb has, so he's going to have to run him down. Can he do it? Absolutely. His best time's 21.2. Caeleb just went 21.5. So, look, I'm putting my money on Caeleb. I want to get the win again. A couple of Brazilians, yellow to Bruno Fratis would be pretty nice, and I think I could retire after that.
Hey, what did Nathan go?
Nate, what do you got there?
It's not up yet. I think it said 21.8.
Yeah.
Or you raise a good point there, right? Caeleb's obviously really, really good at his starts. Then how do you put that program together for Bruno? I mean, what are the things you work on? Is that more box jumps and like plyometrics and explosive stuff in the gym to help build that strength and to maintain that velocity? I mean, what is it that you would then put in your program to change that for Bruno?
Don't give too much away, Hawke.
Yeah.
No, look, I think everybody's seen Bruno start. The big thing is, Skippy, when you come off the block, that back leg kicks up. All right, you want that front leg to join it. And what happens with Bruno is his back leg comes down and joins the front leg. He doesn't go the opposite way. He goes this way. So what he ends up doing is slapping the water with his thighs.
Right.
Doesn't go through the same hole.
Exactly, yeah. And we've been trying to change it for years. It's really difficult. I think the start is the most difficult thing to change in anybody. And it's been a real trouble. We get it, 3 out of 10 times, but it's just not enough to be super consistent. And that's where Caeleb really crushes people. 21.5. There we go. There's the finals list.
21.7 for Nathan.
Yeah.
I hope you can make it.
I don't know if it's you guys as well, but I've started watching when you have a look at the results. The thing now that really starts to stick out is when you see like names in there and years of birth, and they're now hitting like 2000, 2001, 2002. Right? I mean, obviously it was back when we were swimming, right, Cliffy?
It's great.
Only one of us on this has got a birth year of the 1970s, so you can be quiet now, Skippy.
Okay, sorry about that. Holy smokes, yeah, it's nice to see the talent come through.
Clemmy, listen, mate, I know you got to jump off. I appreciate you being with us, mate. It's been awesome to see you.
No worries. I loved it. Thanks, guys. Good to catch up with Nick. Sorry it's taken us so long. But,
let's have a real not that this is not a real catch-up. Let's have a real catch-up soon, Michael.
Yeah, let's have a real
catch-up. You know, I met Michael the first day he came to Australia as an 11-year-old. So
really?
See you soon. Yeah.
That's it. See you guys. Thank you.
See you, mate. Nick, just your thoughts on Simone Manuel not making the relay team.
It's a really hard thing to do, to try to go to more than one Olympic Games. To defend an Olympic championship gold medal is really difficult to do as well. It's cutthroat, right? And particularly, and Skip will know this, and you know this as well, Hawke, with the athletes that you've coached. As soon as you become a star, there's so many things that you get asked to do, and so many distractions away from training. So I don't know. It makes me wonder, once you sort of got that level of stardom, whether or not you're doing everything you can, the desperation that you've got before you go to your first Olympic Games, I'm not sure it's the same for the second Olympic Games if you've got a lot on offer.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, listen, we've got these girls on the blocks right now. This is a semi-final, not cutthroat, but they've got to make it through. Simone's first semi in the water. She looks better than she did in the 100. She's got a little bit more pop. At the 25, still pretty competitive. It's across the board. No one's really taken this by the throat. Simone looks like she's in a top 2 position right now. Going to touch first or second, 24.5. So nothing special, but she's definitely made it through to the final and winning that semi-final.
Yeah, those Aussie girls were really quick in the 50 free.
Really quick, yeah.
Yeah.
How good is not Kate? Who's the other girl that won?
Emma.
Emma McKeon.
Emma McKeon. Oh my God, how good is Emma McKeon?
I've Hawkey, I'm going to show you this just really quickly. I've got my brains trust beside me, reminding me who it was. So Ella's getting ready to head off to Indian River in August. So yeah,
Ella's coming into Indian River. There we go. Good stuff.
Wow.
Go now. Hi to Coach Bryn down in Fort Pierce, Florida. She's yours soon.
Storied program right there. That's awesome.
Yeah, Emma McKeon was awesome. Really quiet achiever. She reminds me of Susie O'Neill. Just, not vivacious, not out there, just sticks her head down, gets the job done, trains really hard, has done a lot of work. So, yeah, I think she's going to be, if she can keep it together between now and the Olympics, she's going to be really tough in a lot of events.
And
100 fly, 100 free, 50 free.
Sorry, Nick, this is her third Olympics. Is that correct? So she's got the Olympics, right? So she's got the experience under her belt now. So she certainly knows what it's like to get over and get up and do what needs to be done. I mean, it'll be just Groundhog Day for her now, right?
Yeah, she won a bronze in 2016 individually in the 200 free. So she had a good meet. She raced in lots. She's got 8 events though, Hawkey. 8 events, including the mixed relay.
Yeah, that's a lot, but she seems to be able to handle it.
Yeah.
Nick, just give us a quick update on what you're actually doing for, what do you do full time?
What do I do for a living?
Yeah.
Apart from raise, actually, I got 2 going off to college. My son's going off to New Jersey to play baseball.
Yeah.
So
Twins,
I
right?
got 3.
Congratulations.
I got 3 kids, and I've only got 1 left in the house as of August.
Oh, yeah.
So I look after AFLW, which is the Australian Football League, the women's competition. We've got 420 athletes on contract at 14 clubs across the country. So we just finished our 5th season. This is a sport that for 150 years has just been about men's footy. So imagine the MLB or the NFL suddenly having a women's league, enough players, enough quality. So I'm the administrator for that. I look after that. It's big. It's transforming Australian sport. This is something that girls and women couldn't do, wasn't available to them, wasn't open. And now we got 600, we got a population of 25 million. We got 600,000 women and girls playing Australian football now.
Wow.
Like it's just, it's only going to get bigger.
Incredible. Good stuff.
And hey, Nick, what are some of the biggest challenges that obviously you see when you switch codes, obviously from swimming, and you look after a sport like that? I mean, what are some of the biggest challenges you face, with that?
Oh, I mean, the men's sport is huge. It's a billions of dollars industry. So having a women's league come in and try and find its place in the sun with a male equivalent that is just so big. We actually tried to run this year in parallel with them for 5 rounds, and our ratings dropped away because then our fans had to choose between watching the women's football or the men's football. So we've made the decision to move the women's league away from the men's league. So we're going to have 2 seasons in 1 year, which is huge administratively. So we go again in December of this year for season 6. So we'll run December to March, and then the guys comp picks up from March to September.
And then how do those girls go to now? Because obviously, not only just from a funding point of view, but I remember when swimming started to get to that point, and you saw the transition and the change when netball started to get professional again. Do the girls do pretty well from to get to a point where they say, right, well, this is going to be a career choice or a pathway I want to go down? Is there funding? Does it give them that opportunity to make it a full-time career for them?
It's not there yet. It's only 5 years old. That's not to say that there's not millions and millions of dollars going into it. So they do get paid. We've got 420 girls that get paid to play football. The kind of average is about 25,000 Australian dollars for what is essentially a 5-6 month contract. But to be really honest, Skippy, I want them to still work and study as well. I don't want them throwing all their eggs in one basket, because you end up a basket case. So, you know, I want them to be able to still study and still work. So there's got to be that balance of what it looks like.
All right, good stuff. Listen, we've got the second semi on the block right now. We've got Weitzel and Husk. I mean, this young girl, Tori Husk, almost, came close to world record in the 100 butterfly. Here we go in the 50 freestyle in the water. Abby Weitzel looks like she's got off to a decent lead. She looks about a quarter of a body length ahead. Abby Weitzel's taking control. Tori Husk is moving well. Good young swimmer here. It's down to Weitzel and Husk. 24.2. Okay, Weitzel, 24.2. That's a little faster. It's a little bit more respectable.
Where's Manuel?
Oh, Manuel was in the first semi. She won 24.5.
Well, that was her that won 24.5. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So she's probably going to be probably fifth, maybe fourth or fifth, Manuel.
So second semi faster.
Second semi way faster, yeah. Weitzel, 24.2. Husk was right there with her.
She seems pretty happy with that.
Yeah, they look happy.
Hey, Nick, I think you hit the nail on the head there. That's one of the things, like, obviously, I try and share with my kids, and even the kids I get to work with here in Singapore, and that is ultimately, you've got to adopt that earn or learn mentality, right? Like, I try and share with them and say that you've got to use your sport for life after sport. And, you know, whether it be AFL or swimming, what you learn in sport, one, sport is an enabler, because of the networks and the people you get to obviously associate with and be with on a day-to-day basis. But two, it's everything else you learn, as we all know, from the never give up attitude, goal setting, discipline, teamwork, overcoming adversity, that are skills that are transferable to anything that you want to do in life, right? Whether it's through your studying career, if you want to run your own business, or if you want to set up your own podcast like Hawke does, right? It's all of those skills that are just quite transferable, and I think that those messages you share with the girls is very spot on.
Oh, it doesn't mean that it's not tough, you know. You know, Brett, yourself and Skippy, and even Nate. You know, when you're trying to achieve something and you're trying to achieve parallel things, it's exhausting, but it's rewarding if you can get it right.
Yeah. Nate, have you got results that you can pull up here? That was the last event, so we're pretty much done here. If we could just have a quick look at results.
I've got them if Nate doesn't have them. Come on, Nate. You got them. Come on, Nate. You got it.
You can't call yourself swim nerd and Nick's outdoing you here. Come on.
I can be a swim nerdette.
There we go.
It must be the NBN we've got set up in Australia, hey, Nick?
24 because it's so fast.
24-4. We've got a long way to go to catch the Australians in this one, but at least a little bit more competitive. Simone Manuel's in third. Good for her. Linnea, 24-5.
Hey, Hawke, if she can make this 50 free, how does it work with the US team rules? Could they take 5 of the top 6 in the 100 free and try and get her up between now and Tokyo?
Yeah, 100%. I think so. I think that's what they're hoping for, really, honestly. If she can get that second spot in this 50, then they'll put her, you know, they'll prep her for those 4x1. And even the 4x2, she can swim the 200. So I think they're desperately hoping that she gets second place in this 50.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Listen, this has been awesome. You guys are so fantastic. Thanks for doing this on short notice. Loved it. Yeah, just loved it. Thanks so much.
That's okay. So the return favour is when I get over to Tokyo to call the Olympics, and there's a bunch of swimmers that I don't know a lot about. Both Nate and you are my research team, okay?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's what we're hanging out for. Please use us.
Awesome.
Skippy, Nick, love you both. Thank you for doing this. Appreciate it. Take care, all right?
Always a pleasure. Always good to see you guys. Thank you.
Nice chat.
See you guys. Bye.